Creatives commentating on the culture they live in. Welcome to Culture Nerds, the most culturally relevant podcast that's ever existed. Let's get back to the conversation. Enjoy.
Yeah, I think with my circle of friendships, I tend to hold on to the things that I know I want to be connected with. Mm-hmm. So I moved around a lot up to, I want to say, like second grade. Mm-hmm. So kindergarten, I went to like 2 kindergartens. Then I went to 2 elementary schools in literally a couple years. And then when I found one that was like solid, I stayed. Met with my best friend, who's still to this day my best friend. I actually spoke at his wedding. My speech was fire. Like, I'm gonna say that it was probably the best speech I've ever heard. And I wrote it, but I freestyled a lot of it already. So when I said it was perfect. But anyway, I'll get to that. So met up with him in second grade, and then already had a tight bond with him. He lived up the street, and life was so much easier. We went to the movies, we walked around, going to the park. We were in like second, third, fourth grade. Like, why were they giving so many kids this much freedom? But then, anywho,
I wish.
I had a lot of freedom. It was different for girls, and I had to combat this whole. I know you have like the exterior of like, oh, you gotta be Mr. Cool and you keep it all inside. Mm-hmm. Like, I developed that skill, and that's the thing I have to combat to try and get back to vulnerable.
Oh shoot!
But it's crazy, but no, please.
Yeah. So then, ironically enough, I don't know why. Like, still to this day, I do not know why. But like I said, I was with my best friend from second grade to 4th grade, then 5th grade. I don't know why I chose to go to another school. My own decision. Like, I was like, Mom, I want to go to a new school. I just want to meet new friends. I wasn't bullied. Like, nothing was wrong. Mother did what she had to do, got to another school, went to another school, met some friends there, had my first crush or something like that, who remains nameless. And that's a whole interesting story too. So after that, I stayed, but the thing is, I was always connected to my best friend. For the sake of this, I'll just call him. I'm not even going to say his name. Forget it. Me and him were always connected. Mm-hmm. Then as I grew up, we went to middle school, we were together all the time. We walked home from school, did so much stuff. Middle school was fun. Then high school came, he went to another high school. So this time, the whole neglect or whatever, he left me. So I was like, oh man, he's not here. I met with other friends, but nobody stuck to where I'm like, yo, you're my guy. Mm-hmm. And especially in high school, you get everybody's my friend in 9th grade. Mm-hmm. Oh, people are acting different in 10th grade. Mm-hmm. I'm only rocking with these 4 people in junior year. Mm-hmm. Senior year, yo, it's only me and you, dog. That's it. So I had a couple people who I rocked with that, and I understood the temporary system of it's high school. Like, I'm gonna have as much fun as I can with you. Mm-hmm. Once we graduate, who's really gonna be there? Oh, we want to go to school together. Some of y'all don't even want to go to school. So it's like, I took that realization. I took a year off because I didn't know things in life were just kind of placed in front of me. I didn't really make a choice, or I think that. But the things that I took advantage of, I was going to go play basketball at RCC. Signed a paper to be on the athletic team and all of that for basketball. Didn't work out. Fast forward, I got cut. I was heated. Long story. But then I met up with another friend who then became my best friend. Me and him, and the thing is, the way we were, the same way you were like, yo, if I'm going to buy everybody if I'm going to get a bottle, you don't have to put in, like, I offered it to you, so I'm going to take care of it. Yeah. That's our personality to each other. Mm-hmm. And the way we became friends was weird. Like, everybody in the school thought I was somebody else. Me and this other kid who was really weird, me and him were almost twins. Never met, didn't know each other at all. And they kept calling me this other guy's name. They're like, yo, Ralph.
Wait. Shut the fucking front door. Hold on, wait. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
What college did you go to?
RCC.
RCC.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say.
What?
I missed that aspect, but I was just about to say, I was like, there's no way. Because I had in Framingham State a very, very similar situation.
That's hilarious.
But please continue.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to wrap this up. So, me and him became... Oh, I'm sorry. Everybody... I'm new to the school. And most of the people that were there went there the year before because I took a year off. So, I go there. They're like, yo, Ralph. They're calling me Ralph. I'm like, yo, who's Ralph? I'm not Ralph. But they're talking to me, like, undeniable. Then all of a sudden they're like, yo, what's wrong with you, dog? Nothing. Go down the hallway, come back, next couple of days. Now this is probably a week span of everybody calling me Ralph. Ironically, me and Ralph are standing next to each other. They were like, oh, Ish, yo, turn around. We looked at each other, we started laughing immediately. Me and him were friends, but the person who became my best friend was like the guy who kept calling me out. But everything was cool, and then I met other friends and everything like that. But the people who I stayed close to were literally, like, because of my own development of friends, I made sure I stapled onto it. I unfortunately had one of my close friends arrested. Got arrested for whatever cause. I spoke to him. The reason why I found out, some of my family members hit me up like, yo, this is your boy. They showed me the news, showed me like he's getting locked up on the news, all of that. I was heated. The moment he got out, or the moment that we had a chance to talk, I didn't talk to him about the court case. I didn't talk to him about what he did or did not do. Yo, how you doing, dog? Just, how's your day? What's going on? What's this? How's your family? I still, to this day, it's been years. He's out now, thank God. He's out. Still to this day. I don't care if he's guilty or not. Like, clearly you went in for a reason, but, like, I still don't know the story. I don't know the background. I don't know nothing. I trusted our friendship. I trusted our loyalty. I trusted all of that. And that's what it is. So my circle of friends that I can call my best friends is, like, probably like 4 people, but they're in different realms. Keep them all close. My best friend who I was in his wedding, basically, longer story short, his favorite player is LeBron James. And at that time, his number was 23, or it was 6, 23, 2 times 3, 6. So it still mattered. So I basically was like, yo, what if I told you, and I said this to the audience, what if I told you we've been friends for 23 years? What are the things that came out 23 years ago? Movies like the Titanic or Liar Liar or whatever I thought of. I went to the year, looked at all the things that came out, spoke about it, talked about it, we laughed. And it was a good time. So, but yeah, that was my whole shindig on friends. So I stay real tight with loyalty. That's my thing.
That warms my heart.
Yeah, that's.
You're a stand-up guy. Yo.
I appreciate it. I try.
Another round of applause.
Oh, come on, that's too much already. Too much.
Oh, un aplauso.
Oh my gosh.
We're here to make him uncomfortable. I'm
an extrovert. I'm cool.
Yep.
That ain't nothing to me.
Okay, so no, I think that CoPilot, like, especially in like your younger years, is just invaluable. Like that best friend, like that guy who's just like, no, you're gonna be the wheel guy, and I'm gonna be out here shooting. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the Will Smith to your Martin, or the Martin to your Will Smith, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? But y'all bad boys,
right?
For life. You know what I mean? Like, it's like it's so stupid.
Hopefully not the Will and Jada bad boys, because that one was bad.
Yeah, that was
bad marriage for life.
That was rough. That was
a dark turn.
Yeah, there's a lot of levels. There's a lot of levels on that. But I never really had like that CoPilot.
No.
Kind of like you, where it's like, kind of like you, Jolly, where I went from school to school, and it was like I was the new kid. Mm-hmm. I got to know some people, right? And then I moved. Mm-hmm. Didn't know nobody. Mm-hmm. Went in, was the new kid. Mm-hmm. So like, I was isolated enough from people in that way, where like I developed my own weird ass style.
Yeah. And
then like I would go in and they just like, I was roast material. I was just like out here. I was getting cooked.
Oh man.
Really?
I was out here getting roasted. Like barbecue grill roasted. Ooh. Do you know what I'm saying?
That hurts.
And like,
what grade?
Every grade.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, all the
you
grades.
Get away from
What are you talking about? I didn't even begin to like start developing some semblance of like,
sharp tongue.
Okay, I can like mimic the weird cool bullshit that they're all into and they'll leave me alone stuff until like probably like 6th grade. Like 6th grade.
Worse.
that was the year that I really was just like, okay, cool. I'm gonna hunker down and I'm gonna see what everybody is doing. And I took those 2 years to develop that skill, and then I went into high school and was just like, I'm totally fucking reinventing myself.
Yeah.
But I had that moment going into high school where I was just like, I don't know if I want to do this thing where like I want to be like everyone else. That's what was so unbelievably intriguing about the presentation that I saw, that my art teacher was like, hey, you should apply to BAA. And I saw the whole thing and I was just like, yeah, yeah, that
works. Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't know, I could never go back.
Yeah.
But I think honestly that CoPilot, that other person, especially as an extrovert.
Yeah.
I feel like especially as an extrovert, to have that other person to kind of like ping ideas off of. Oh.
Yeah.
I still wish I had that. Do you know what I mean? Because no, I mean, you know,
aside from your wife.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is it's like
Aside from that, yeah.
that's my wife.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't ask my wife to jump off a cliff with me. She's gonna be like, "What are you, crazy?
Right.
And we're gonna leave the baby alone?
Right.
What's wrong with you?" You know what I mean? Like she's my wife. She's doing the mom thing and the wife thing, and that's great, and that's fantastic, and that's a necessary thing.
Yeah.
But I need a co-pilot who's gonna be like, "Listen, I'm gonna try this maneuver, right?" And we've never tried this maneuver before, but he's like, "Don't even worry about it. I got this." Like that scene in The Town where Ben Affleck comes in and is just like, "Listen, we're gonna hurt some people. You can't ask no questions." And dude's just like, "Whose car are we taking?" Like
that's what you need.
Yeah, that's what I need in the co-pilot. But to go back on how crazy similar this story is, I'm gonna show you guys a picture. And you're going to tell me whether or not you would have confused us too. Okay. So this is the guy.
Yeah.
This is the guy in Framingham State. Now, here's the thing.
Oh man.
Right?
Wow.
Do you see what I'm talking about? So here's the thing. In Framingham State, I was a commuter. So I was only there for classes, right? He lived on campus. So he obviously had like a network and people that knew him and groups he hung out with and a bunch of shit, right? And I always used to do this thing between classes where I'd go to like the study hall or like whatever the quiet rooms were or whatever. And I'd always have like a big hoodie or something. And I'd boom, right over, head down, you know what I mean? Because I got 2 hours before my next class. I'm not going to, you know, what am I going to do for 2 hours?
Yeah.
So, and then I would like wrap my backpack or whatever like between my legs, so if anybody like tried to like get it off, like they would have to move me.
Jeez.
I don't trust nobody out here.
No, I get it.
I don't trust nobody out here. You know what I'm saying?
Clearly, you got it.
But so like they would see me walking in and out of like the campus center all the time, and every now and again like there might be. I think there was at least 1 or 2 experiences where someone kind of came up to me kind of running like, "Hey, John," or like, I don't know what his name was.
Yeah.
We literally met that one time, we took the picture, never seen him again. And for the longest time, and for the longest time, that was his picture on Facebook. And I was just like, this is crazy. Like every time I needed to find him on Facebook, I just had to look for that picture.
Wow.
It was so funny.
That's crazy.
But yeah, there were times where people would come up to me and like seem like they wanted to talk to me, and I would go like, you know what I mean? Like I would look at them weird, and they'd just be like, I guess that's not him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I bet you they felt crazy that they were just like, there's no. Do I not remember what he looks like? You know what I mean?
I joke around and things like that,
but
I'll engage in the conversation.
But here's the thing: is we're at graduation, and I almost didn't even go to graduation. But I go to graduation, and I am the most disheveled. This is why I can't be normal, right? I go to graduation, and everyone in graduation, button-up shirt, dress pants, you know, bomb, you know, like just dress up, baby. It's the celebration.
Yeah.
Wow, let's do it. You know what? I showed up in a t-shirt, shorts, some jean shorts, and like some chanclas or whatever.
No, you didn't.
So
Yes, I did.
wow.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
You were gonna
This
go
is
you
why
were gonna go
I
to sleep
cannot be
right
normal.
No, I love it. I love it.
You're gonna go to sleep right after
So,
graduation.
no, but here's the thing. Low key, everyone around me was just like, oh, it's so hot, it's so hot, it's so hot.
You would chill.
It's so hot. Blazers and big ass dresses and all this kind of other shit. I was cool and I was chilling. I was like,
Cool as a cucumber.
yeah,
Right.
I was just like, oh, you feel that breeze? It's a nice breeze.
Oh,
You have a jacket on. You can't feel the breeze.
So question, at your graduation, how many people graduated?
I mean, it seemed like a pretty normal class. Probably like something like 300-400 people.
So you said normal. I was brought up in high. It's not normal. My graduation.
No, not from high school.
Framingham.
Not from
Oh,
high school.
Framingham. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
no, from high school. What, like maybe 100 people?
Oh shoot.
Maybe
Well, because
like
they kept
120
letting
people, maybe.
up. Yeah, they like kept. I mean, we were a small school, and like as the years went on, if you didn't make the cut, like if you couldn't keep up your grades and your art on the same level, you had to leave. They would kick you out.
Okay.
They're like, you
Yeah.
can't enjoy doing theater and dancing if you can't keep up with your academics.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, I
So
wish I went to like a school like that in a sense. Yeah, because the one reason why I went to college in the first place, besides sports, was the fact that I know it's ironic that we're doing a podcast now, but my English teacher was like, David, I really love your voice. You should pursue like radio or something. And I'm like, you know what, Miss Nelson? You got it. And I did it. Like literally, that was it. Went to RCC. They don't have radio. They have video. And I'm like, Dad, I don't want to do video. Video's gonna be whack. But you know what? I'm gonna sit in the class, take it, ace the class, just because I felt like I had to. Little do we know now, a couple years after, I'm getting into video and editing and all this, and all the stuff that I learned. I'm like, oh. And I don't, until now, I haven't done one thing radio like. Actually, no, I lied. I was a part of a radio station once.
Yeah.
But, yeah, life is full circle to me.
Right.
Real quick, just to close it up. I'm sorry.
No, you
It's gonna destroy the listeners if I don't finish this story. In my mind,
Got you.
that's how delusional I am.
Okay.
The listeners right now
Uh-huh.
are aching for the end of this story. Do you know what I mean? No, I'm saying.
Cliffhanger.
But
What's the end?
at my graduation, right? I'm there after the whole ceremony and everything. Some guy runs up behind me, and it's just like, "It's you. You're the one." And I go, "Whoa!" Like I'm immediately like, "Okay, are we gonna fight?
Right.
What is this? I don't understand what's happening."
Wow.
I'm thrown aback.
Right.
And he goes, "You're the guy they keep telling me about." And I was like, "Okay, you are going to have to give me more details." And he's like,
Couldn't
"Okay,
tell by
okay,
looking
okay."
at him.
No, not at first. I was like, okay. He's like, "So I live on campus, and my friends keep telling me every now and again that they see me at like the campus center and have these really weird times when I'm in a different class, or they know my schedule is different than that, or you know what I mean, like, and they just, they've told me they've come up to this person and like it's actually not me, and you wouldn't believe how much of a clone he is of you." And I was like, "Wait, what?"
Right.
Okay, I mean, I don't not see it, but like, okay. And he goes, "Can we take this picture? I have to take this picture." And I go, "Yeah, sure, let's take this picture, let's go." And I took the picture, and I was like, "I'll take the picture as long as you send it to me." And he took the picture and sent me the picture. And I went, I mean, they're not fucking wrong.
Right.
We would at least be brothers, if not twins. Like, yes.
Right.
And so, like, it was a lot, man. And seriously, I've never, like, past that whole interaction, we've never interacted before. Or after.
Which I find very interesting, because if I were to meet my doppelganger, I would at least try.
Right.
To have something, because it's like, dude, we already look alike. Like,
Right.
why not see what else we have?
But probably, well, did you all even see if your personalities even matched? The opportunity
I don't
just
think
wasn't
they
there.
tried.
No,
Yeah.
that's just it. Is like, I've always had this thing where it's like there's a certain time in life where like when you get past it, it's so much more difficult to make friends, let's say as an adult. Like because it's like he's got what, like 20 years worth of, you know, homies. If he's from Framingham, he's right there. You know what I mean? Like all of his peoples are there. Right. Who am I gonna be this weird dude? Do you know what I mean? And here's the thing is I would do it, but it would not have the desired effect. No. Like I would be the weird dude to be like, hey, we should hang out sometime. Or like I would love to get to know you. Right. Or like, you know, I think if it worked out, we'd be really great friends. I've never shut off to like making new friends. If that makes sense.
Yeah, because you're an extrovert.
But like, I don't know, like I know his response because I've been in that situation. So like, I know his response is going to be to recoil and be like, oh my God, I just had this one interaction with you. What are you doing? Do you know what I mean? Like it's too much all at once.
Yeah.
Like, so that's what I really kind of work on is just like being like, okay, let me not give him like too much. Right. Yeah. Right off hand. Yeah. So I've developed a sort of slow trickle to like a breaking dam. You know what I mean?
But isn't that going down to that what you call it, the negotiating and the sabotage of the friendship? Like, not sabotage. Sabotage is such a strong word. But you can just manipulate that friendship into something else. Like, obviously,
you wasn't thinking about that. It just feels like it feels emotionally. I don't want to use the word rapey because I don't ever want to diminish that kind of thing. But like it feels like I'm unethically involving you in this relationship. Do you know what I mean? It feels like I'm circumventing boundaries that you've obviously given in order to pursue my own thing. Do you know what I mean? I would much rather, like, I don't want to manipulate you into wanting to do the project. I want you to be excited to do the project.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you aren't, that's fine. Like, I know a lot of people like take it as like, oh, I'm not excited or whatever, or like he's gonna get offended or anything. Like, you know, no hard feelings here. Like, no ill will. Yeah. But it's nice to know. I would much rather know, even if somebody dislikes me, if they're just like, hey, I don't really fuck with you.
Right. At least you know.
You know what I mean? Respect, because now I know how to deal with you, and you know how to deal with me. Right? As opposed to like, and this is what I ran into with like some of my friends that I came out of high school with. Like, that was really like the crew. That was my group. That was the community. Whatever. And then, you know, life gets in the way, stuff happens, people change, relationships change. And then, you know, I in particular hit a very specific point where I was just starting to get to a real breaking point. I had a couple of different, you know, breaking points. Yeah. But like this last one in particular, it just, I'm not saying I necessarily wasn't at fault for very many things. But it just, kind of like the example that you gave earlier with your homie that went to jail. Yeah. Your experience with him, your years with him, your knowledge of him as a person, as a character, helped you look past an indiscretion like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Regardless of whether it's true or not, or let's say it is true. It doesn't matter. I know enough about you to know you're a good dude. Yeah. To know you're gonna make mistakes. To know you're not always gonna be perfect. And sometimes I'm gonna be the person that's gonna talk to you like you're a normal person in these non-normal times. You know what I mean?
He definitely appreciated that, even in that conversation. And I told him straight up, just like that, I don't care if you did it or not. I'm just showing you that I'm here. If you need to talk, I'm here, whatever. And we did. And we kept having jokes. Our friendship, and the thing is, our friendship started, and we don't know how. It's like we just went to school one day and was like, we're friends. And like, that was it. So we became laughing at everything. So the friendship that we built, bonded, grew into, it got more serious because then now it's like all the laughing, funny stuff is over. Now it's just like, let me get to know you as a person. So all those things, all the time that we built toward that made sense, and it worked for our friendship. Then to where he was at in the situation, I was just being, this is where the jokes are over. Like, this is the real me right here. And he appreciated it because he's getting questioned, calls. His house got raided, when obviously they took him. So he was in the most unwilling, vulnerable spot that he wanted to be in. His family seen it. His child was born and he was gone, I believe.
Oh, man.
So there was a lot of things. So for me to just talk to him as a person, he appreciated that more than anything because he's like, every turn, it's somebody who wants to be in the business, who just wants to know.
Yeah.
And he hated it. So for the fact that he had a regular, normal conversation with me was like the light of the day, week, whatever. It's still like that now. But we laugh more now because obviously situations are different. He's looking for a house. Like, he's in a really good position. He's actually helping me because with me running my own business, he's trying to keep me on top of everything. He's like, hey, did you get this copy read? He's done a lot of reading, you can say in a sense. So he's done a lot of reading. So he's researching how much certain businesses cost. What are you doing with this? What are you doing with that? So he's giving me all those informations and those gems so I can keep running with it. He calls me literally every week to talk about business. Then everything else is just friendly conversation and whatever. So the friendship was built, and I think with the loyalty factor in all my friendships, I go with that same intention. Like, you're going through stuff, and that's cool for you to go through stuff. I'm going through stuff. Whether you want to be open with me or not with it, go for it. But I'm not judging your character. I'm not judging anything about you. Yeah. You make your mistakes because you do. You make the choices because you do. Yeah, I'll talk to you about it, but for me to put that as the first forefront thing, no. You're a person. Yeah. And I treat people like I would want to be treated in that sense. I do a lot of messed up stuff. I'm probably going to do something messed up tomorrow. But if you still respect me as the same person, then yeah, we're cool. Yeah. That's all.
I guess, Javi, what sort of, I don't know, what was the click moment for what you feel like maybe is your value system? Like like did you just see the example and immediately resonate with it, or
of like how I treat people and how I have friendships? Yeah,
like Mac was saying, like he treats people like he wants to be treated, and I very much resonate with that.
Yeah.
And I have a very specific few experiences in my mind that developed that idea very particular for me. Yeah. And you made a great point in the sense of people being kind of like afraid to be vulnerable and tell you what is going on with them. And I find that I tell people all the time, like, I'm not gonna judge you. Like, it's not gonna be. I don't care what you did. You know what I mean? But I find people have a hard time believing that that's the case
because so many people have betrayed them or made them feel a certain way, so their wall is already up.
Yeah.
If they don't know you, absolutely, the wall's up.
Yeah.
But the people who do know you, they went through their own trials that they went through. So when that opportunity to be vulnerable is there, their first move is to evade. I'm not going to open up because that's just not what I do. So in ways you have to still show them. I'm not judging, or I'll reverse. I was really into being a mentor, in which I was for many years. I do reverse psychology. I'll give you all the tools from me. Help you feel comfortable. I'll tell you my F-ups. Cool, having a conversation, whatever. However you act will determine the next move that I make. But at the same time, I'm showing you this is me being vulnerable. Yeah. So then in turn, in a conversation, when something happens to you, you can call me and I can just be like, all right, so how do we handle this? Or, dang, dog, well, let's figure out this. Let's do that. Like, I never just leave somebody in the air. Yeah. Like, I always try to, yo, you need a hug? You want help? Like, my boy moving. In the process of him moving, he was literally moving, like, the beginning of this month. He just moved into his crib, him and his girl together, all of that. He didn't need help moving. He didn't call me that. And I said it, do you need help moving? No. So if I show up, what's going to happen? He was like, nothing. You're not going to show up because I don't need you here. Like, I'm good. So I didn't show up. So point blank period. But the opportunity of me being there for him, being there for anybody, that's my normal niche. Like, I would want you to feel comfortable with me because I want to feel comfortable with you. So I give you what I give you what I want.
Yes.
That's the best way to say it.
I feel like that's the way that I operate. I feel like the way that I speak to someone is the way that I want you to speak to me. The way that I take care of you and I create a space for you to be yourself and give me your truths is what I expect of you.
Right.
And if I don't feel like I can be real with you, even if it's to say something about like, yo, what you said or what you did, I didn't like. If I can't even say that to you, we're not close. Right. That's how I measure my friendships, because I should be able to tell him or her like, yo, that hurt my feelings, or I feel very uncomfortable with that. And that person being like, oh, okay.
Right, and they don't take it personal, and they don't like get defensive.
Yeah, I remember I had one guy friend who I was mad close with. Like, in my mind, he was like a brother. It was just like, we're cool. But then, you know, life happened. I didn't know how to deal with it, so I started changing. And I remember I hit him up and I was just like, hey, you're not coming through my place anymore. Like, you're not coming to have lunch at my crib. We're not talking. I don't see you that much. Like, can we meet up? And he was like, all right, cool. And when we met up, he was just like, you've changed. You're not the Jadira that I know. So that's why I'm stepping away. And that hurt. Because it was just like, dude, I'm going through shit. And you know what I'm going through. Yeah. And you still don't ask to be like, yo, you alright? Yeah. Instead, you just back away. Alright, cool. Yeah. So after that, it was just like, now I know who to like talk to, who to mess with, and the extent that I will go to.
Yeah.
With people.
The extent is a very, very important piece, because there's the people that I give them a lot, but I know where the cutoff is. So it's like, I'm not overexerting any of my resources or how I feel. But like, you know, we're going to hang out. Let's hang out. Let's chill. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's do that. But when it comes to something more personal, you know what, dog, I'm not going to make it. It's cool. And I won't hurt myself from it. So I give you a good amount just to sustain whatever there is. But nah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know, I just lost my train of thought. Look at that.
Woo! Joe, have nothing to say?
We're speechless over here.
Right.
You guys are just killing it. So, I mean, hitting all the points.
Good stuff. Right.
Yeah, I for sure had to go through a point of relabeling. Like, I had to go through, and it took me a while. That's what I was thinking about. It took me a while to learn the lesson. Because I saw those changes too in a lot of the people that I hung out with. You know what I mean? And it can get weird sometimes when you're like in a couple and you have friends as a couple or whatever, and like you're friends as a couple like now, but everyone has their sort of like leaning, and they aren't necessarily our friends. They're like, oh, they're your friend, but they're cool with you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, this is my girl's friend. She's cool with me.
Right.
Like right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, she's not my friend.
Yeah.
But in the interim, right, in the meanwhile, she acts as if we're friends, right? And they might even get to the point of saying like, oh, we're cool, we're friends, we're homies, blah, blah, blah. Because people just like use those terms interchangeably. And much like you're saying, Jadira, I don't use those words that way.
Right.
Like, so I really had to go through a bunch of people that I knew and had to relabel, where I was like, no, this person is an acquaintance. This person is someone that I know of. This person is someone that I knew of. You know what I mean? And like, I'm going to butcher this quote, and it's not my quote. So
cool.
Google it if you want to Google it.
Okay.
But it's, I keep you at the distance required for me to treat you well. If that's 3,000 miles away,
then that's where you are.
That's what it is.
Right.
for me to wish you well, I have to keep you at a certain distance. And I was just like, that's
perfect.
That's amazing. Because that's the person that I want to be. Like, I hate when I fall into that, like, real dark side. I accept that I have it. But, like, I don't feel good about the person that I am when I'm, like, not living up to the ideal of, like, hey, I'm not cool. You may have, like, done something I wasn't particularly fond of, but I'm not vindictive. I don't want to, you know, get back at you for this. And some of the worst moments of my life have been when I have felt like that. Like, how dare you have wronged me and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like, those are always the worst moments.
Right. Yeah. The way I turn out to friendships, literally it may go full circle when I say this, but it starts with possessive. If I say you're my anything, then you're already in a good spot. I don't have a big list of that. You can be my best friend, my guy, my goon, whatever. If I say mine in front of it, that's how close you are. But if I say we're cool. We know each other. Yeah. Like, literally, it goes from my to we. And I just keep, with that whole labeling, I don't care what's on the other side of cool or we, but that's who you are.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we rock together.
We know each other.
It's the we or my.
Yeah.
That's the way I spelled it out.
And I guess the thing with me as a friend is, like, I'm not against being unreasonably loyal, but I'm also not against being like, all right, I punched him in the face because he punched you in the face, but, like, you was wilding, right?
Right. Right.
You was, like, out of control, right? So, like, maybe don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how I want my friends to, like, deal with me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want them to pretend like nothing's going on. Especially if I'm doing some crazy shit. If I'm out here wilding, I want you to be like, hey,
call you out.
You know, like, what's going on? But I also don't want you to, like, stifle my person. Because I find a lot of people have, like, like little things where an adult won't go into, like, a park or something to, like, play in the park. Because it's like,
I play in the park. With my kid. I play in the park with my kid.
Hot take.
I'm listening.
Empty park. I don't have a kid. I'm hopping on some swings. I'm going down some slides. Do you understand?
Okay,
I'm climbing some monkey bars. That shit is happening.
I do the swings.
If there are kids there, and I do not bring a kid.
Yeah, you can't. Because that just looks
No.
There's a full bid. There's no way. I'm driving right by.
That's different. But an empty park? Ooh, I'm rolling around in that bitch. I don't need my daughter for that. I don't need my daughter for that.
Mac, you wouldn't in an empty park?
What? But that's exactly what I was sort of going for, right?
Yeah.
My girl, for example, would have that same response. She would have this sort of like, we're like adults. We're not really supposed to be in, like, this park. Like, I get it. It's a societal norm.
Yeah.
But every time she hits me with something like that, I go like, is the playground police gonna arrest you? Like, it's not. It's an open space. It's not. You know what I mean? Like,
in the safe society of that, I'm being honest. I wouldn't judge you. I would laugh because it's like, that's different. But I'm not gonna be like, yo, this dude's probably mad weird. Or this guy on the swings, like, logically in my mind, I would say he probably just got a break. Like, you don't have a kid. Like, your wife took your child. You're good. So you want to go play now. I think of jokes or stuff like that that puts me in that place. But as far as what you say about the loyalty thing, I was laughing because my best friend that I had since second grade was getting to a fight, and it was one of those inopportune days that I was not planning for. I told my mom, hey, I'm gonna go to this house. I'm gonna spend the night there. I'm gonna chill. Cool. My mom's like, oh yeah, go ahead, have fun. I go there, had a clean little outfit on for whatever we're gonna do the next day, but that's what I had on. Go there to his crib. He's wearing all black. Yo, I'm about to set it on somebody, though. We're about to fight somebody. I'm like, I'm down, but I got this fresh outfit on. And I'm like, yo, come on. You have anything else? He's like, nah, yo, the dude's actually about to come, or the other fella's about to come through. We're riding out. I'm like, all right.
What's the drip though?
Yo,
have you seen?
It didn't matter.
Drip,
it didn't matter. And the thing is, let's just put color comparison there. Yeah. He's wearing all black, ready to fight. He got his dirty sneakers on. Oh, no. I come through with an orange and white button up on at the time. Nice jeans. They were baggy because that was the time. And I had some tennis kicks that was orange and white that matched everything because we were going to go out. Like, we were about to party, or I thought we were going to party. So already in the spectrum of, okay, we roll out with a car full of 5 people. We go to the location. People are scrapping now. People are fighting. And here's my dumb behind wearing all white with orange. I did not come there to fight. So anybody punched me in that moment, I deserved it. So with you saying that, it just kind of made me laugh because I was like, I was really in that position and I was ready to fight somebody. The fight didn't last long because dude punched him in his dick and it was like, yo, chill. And everybody stopped the fight. And then they dapped each other up and left. It was the weirdest occasion at all. But yep. And the funny thing is, the car ride home was like, I'm upset that happened to you, but I'm actually happy that I did not have to do anything because I have all these clothes on. It was hilarious.
The whole time, my man cannot stop thinking about his clothes. He's
not
just
one bit.
Damn, I came out here fresh to death, and nobody wants to see.
Have you ever wore like fresh Air Forces before? That duck walk that you're doing so you won't mess them up or scuff them or crease them? Oh, you never did that?
I'm not a sneakerhead.
No,
I'm just sorry.
Okay, any sneaker that you wore that you don't want to crease? Nothing? I mean, you do that.
I don't give.
Don't judge me on my sneakers.
No, those are nice sneakers. But it's just
I don't know if you've noticed, right? I have my own personal, particular,
style.
Let's say version of drip.
Okay.
Right. T-shirt, shorts, and jacket.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a brand. I need to.
I got a brand.
I gotta portray, but I don't know that stuff. I have a hard time with that kind of stuff. Okay. So like, I know how people are like, oh, I like Louis Vuitton and this and that, and Burberry, and just brands in general.
Yeah.
I was off that so much faster than most people. I feel like, or at a much younger age.
Yeah. Just
because I was just like, I don't give a shit about what's on my sneaker. You know what I mean? Like, and I'll buy the sneaker and like, I'll wear it the first few times, keep it fresh and whatever. But like, I never really like went out of my way. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't change the way that I walked or like what. Like for me, and here's another insight on me: comfort takes an absolute value. Do you know what I mean? In the same way that it's like, it's exhausting to try and fit into all of people's social norms. Yeah. Because then I have to be like, okay, rigid, and here's the thing. And people tell me, but like, you're an actor, it should be simple to just hop in there and get into there, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you don't understand the kind of emotional shift that like I have to do as a person to like bring myself to the character's point of view in that very particular situation. But at the same time, I have access to the whole situation. I can see how the conversation began, finished. I can see the spikes of where their emotions went. I'm not out here guessing. Right. Like, I'm not out here just straight improv. And I can improv, but you're going to get this person. Right? You're going to get this. Or you're going to get a very stifled person being like, oh, yeah, no, for sure, the weather, it's nice. I like it a lot. I don't know what you want me to say, but I'm trying to make sure to say the thing that you want me to say.
That's why I stay quiet.
Oh, man.
That's like when I'm around people that make me feel like, I just stay quiet and listen. I ask a lot of questions. What about this? What about that? Keep talking. Keep talking. I'm gonna keep listening because I don't vibe with that. So I'm not gonna change the way. Oh no. Yeah,
I've
tried that. I'm done.
I didn't have that choice because I grew up into that culture of the clothing and everything like that.
Yeah.
I didn't go out, if I didn't have enough money for it and I didn't have money for it, now you know what? I don't got it.
Yeah.
But no, it's a certain effect. Yeah. The clothing part, then that's all me. Like,
that's cool, bro.
Yeah. But what I was saying was just, okay, those sneakers are hard to walk in because you're so focused on not messing them up.
Yeah.
So when everybody's scuffling around and fighting and moving fast, I'm just walking like living like a duck.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to mess these up. Like, I just paid a lot of money for these. No, I'm not doing that. So in that moment, yeah.
I'm gonna back my man. He's right. I never changed the way that I walk, and then shits. Oof, man. If you wanted to keep them correct, you really did have. You had to go out of your way for that shit. Like, it was crazy, especially like the white ones. Like, did you ever like get like a toothbrush and like the
of course
the sneaker cleaner and all that kind of mess? Oh, what a nightmare! Here's the thing: is like, I always wanted to be cool. Oh,
Me too. I've never gotten the hang of it.
Man.
But the best part is,
but you know what's weird? You know what's weird is in not getting the hang of it, I've gotten weird compliments of like, oh, you're like a cool dude or like whatever, and I was like, cool dude, all right.
After?
Yeah. I remember somebody said to me, I never used to think of myself this way, but somebody said to me, oh, you know, like you got like a ton of charisma. I was like, I got charisma? I never thought of myself as charismatic until that person basically went, no, like you have wild charisma. And I was like, I mean, I guess you're not wrong now that I'm thinking about it. But like, why would I never process that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just that interaction, like I never had that. I envy you so much, Javi. As an introvert, I envy you so much that you do not give a shit about any of these connections with these people, and you feel totally at peace and wonderful in that, like that. Yeah.
Can we give her a kudos clap for that? Let's go. Now it's your turn.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was waiting to pass this on.
First running gag. No, but like honestly, a lot of the times my biggest issue is like I want to connect so badly that I'm willing to put myself through this like unbearable grind with this person to try and maybe get them to open up. You know what I mean? And I've developed these skills, like you're saying, that like, oh, ask them questions and whatever. It makes people feel like you're listening more to them, and people like talking about themselves.
Oh my God, they do.
Yeah.
As we are seeing here now. No.
Yes.
And we're really. Let's talk about ourselves.
Yeah.
But like, I put myself through that grind, and I just have to go, okay, this one's not worth it. Just let it go. Like, that's my whole thing. Especially when I feel the most isolated. Like, when I don't have an avenue where I'm, like, having a consistent conversation or, like, a consistent interaction. And that's why attracting introverts doesn't help, because they don't have that same inherent like, hey, so like, how are you doing? Like, I wanna, can you like, I haven't talked to people in like a couple of days. Can you like talk to me? You know what I mean? Like, they don't have that crazy in them. So
we do like to connect.
No, I'm not saying. No. I'm not saying.
You're very selective.
I'm not saying. No. I'm not saying that you don't like to connect. I'm saying that's why I called it a craze. Like, it feels like a genuine insanity in the sense where I'm just like, I don't care who
you just need
I connect with. It becomes this, if I don't actively like pull it back and try and handle it, it becomes this thing where it's just like, I don't care who you are, what we're connecting about. I just want to connect with you. Yeah. And that feels like deficient to be that far into that spectrum. Do you know what I mean? So that's why, like, I look at an introvert, and I know that you guys like to connect, because I live with an introvert.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, she's for sure an introvert.
From what I've seen,
she's, let's just say, my girl is very, very good at. She, like me, can see the game. She knows the rules. She knows the scoreboard, everything. She's studied it. You know what I mean? In the way that you've studied it, where you're kind of quiet, you ask questions, you watch people's reactions, you take the little bits of information, right?
Yeah.
And you try and build upon that. And she's, expert at it. It's one of the things that I just absolutely admire about her. But it's exhausting for her because it is just that. She is just playing this sort of game that she knows will work to get through this sort of drudgery.
Yeah.
And she's fine with it as long as she can get home and sort of like unwind and relax and not necessarily have to feel like that.
Yeah, it can be exhausting.
Yeah. So like one of the things that she says that she appreciates about me is like, because I know the game, I have a not normal habit to essentially go, I see you're playing the game.
Right.
So she'll throw on some kind of like social norm or whatever, and I'm like, you're playing the game right now. I won't always say it like that, but that's essentially what I'm doing, right? And because it's always worked with everyone else in her life, it can be a very frustrating thing where you're like, I want you to like do this thing, but I can't do any of the things that work with anyone else with you. So it's a very frustrating thing, but there's also a yin and yang to that where she, after a while, starts to feel like these things that I do don't work. So I shouldn't do them. I shouldn't try them.
Yeah.
And in that having to let go of those things, she gets the ability to sort of relax. And not necessarily feel like she has to do that with me.
Yeah.
Because it won't work anyway. And in the same way, her skill, I just sit back and like look and just go like, oh, okay, so that's how you do it? Oh, okay. Like I hear she nerds out about psychology or whatever. Who knows? We might have her on one of the podcasts. That might be her culture.
Yeah.
But she loves that shit.
Right.
And it's because she's developed this like great skill.
Right.
And through her, I've learned a lot of that kind of stuff too. And now I'm sort of doing my own research on everything.
Right.
Nice.
So in that same way, I may not have taken her entire way of doing it, but I've adjusted mine or found my own path to adjust some of the things that have worked for her. That's why I talk about stuff like letting people in a little bit slowly and the slow trickle and whatever. But like, much like you, Mac, I don't mind being an open book. Like when I show up, the first time I see you, I can go, boom, right here, right?
Right.
But like you said, depending on your response to that, I'm either gonna go, oh, okay, I understand, I get it. This is just not your type of book. No problem. I'm just gonna put this right here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I found that people get thrown back when they get too much information. So sometimes I'm like, oh, let me just read you a little bit of it, or what? You know what I mean? Like just put you in a little bit.
With you saying that, and I hope this doesn't well, I don't think it's gonna backfire at all. But in the sense of you saying that, I know something that I have done. I've created the elevator or the airplane friends. Wherever your destination is, that's how quick that friendship is gonna last. So it's like we can talk about anything. Like if you're gonna be an open book and you're gonna tell me this, I'm gonna engage. I'm gonna be with you. But in my mind, you're on the other side of the we. Like we're cool. So it's like you're gonna tell me all this. I hear you. I'm engaging. I'm rocking with you. Oh, that happened? That's crazy. But what else? So what are you gonna do about it? Is it gonna change anything? We're literally going through this. But wherever that destination ends is like, oh, okay, this is my stop. This is where the elevator's off. This is my level. I'm off. Or the plane's landed. We're gone. Then that's what it is. I'm not hurting myself, but at the same time, and if somebody was to do that, I think that would backfire on me. That's where it's like, ooh, now this person could have been a friend, but then we don't know because I played my part, they played theirs, but hopefully I didn't hurt them in the long run. Like, oh, I want to try to connect with you later. Oh, then sure, whatever. Then wherever we go from there, if we're landing the airplane, we end up in the same city. Oh, then yeah, let's get up. Let's make it happen. I'm going to be all for it because now I know you because you were that open book and I was rocking with you.
Yeah.
But I just know, like, in the sense of you saying that, and I'm like, Dad, that's kind of how I would be. Like, you're going to be my airplane friend. Whenever we land, that's where it is.
And I've taken, like I said, I've taken the step back in the sense of being like, okay, cool, I can ease you in.
Yeah.
It's just like, it became one of those things where it was like, you know, we spent like an hour or whatever, like chopping it up. You know, it was just, it really worked. We were relating on so many different things. You know what I mean? Like, when I understand when like a conversation is stagnant and we're not really connecting like
those
that.
moments happen.
But there are times where it's like, man, like this is so cool. Like we're really vibing on all of this kind of stuff. And when I don't necessarily go straight into like a traumatic thing. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But what I mean when I just open up is like, if you ask the question, if you really want to know, I have no issue giving you that information. I just find a lot of times, and that's been my line, where if somebody asks for information, I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah.
If you respond to it weird, I'm not going to be upset at myself because you asked me for this information.
You did, right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's one of my things too, where it's like, I never ask someone the answer to a question I don't expect either answer to. So like, if I were like, hey, is my rice good? I, in my mind, am hearing you say no. Because no is one of the possibilities. Like, yes or no.
Yes.
Right? But people get thrown back when you're like, no, it's not that good. Like, people talk so much about having this value for honesty. And I just find everyone is telling you to lie to them almost all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like my experience. Because, like, I was at this buffet. Not a buffet. It was a birthday party. Okay. Where they had, like, a spread.
Oh, that's why you confused it.
Yeah.
How did those two
connect?
Right.
So I'm walking down the line, and it's Spanish food. You know, they had just made Spanish rice. And this Italian lady stops me, because I guess she looked at me and was like, he must be Hispanic. I mean, she was right. You know, but, and she goes, hey, listen, this is my first time making this rice. And I want you to be honest.
That's a red flag.
Huh?
All right.
That's a red flag for me.
Yeah, right? Italian woman making Spanish rice for the first time? Yeah. But she goes, listen, can you try it and tell me if it's good? Like, what do you think? I want an honest opinion. And I was like, ooh, okay, here's the thing. I'm going to give you a prerequisite because I don't want you to be confused later. If you want an honest opinion, you ask the right man. I'm going to give you an honest opinion. I want to make sure you're ready for an honest opinion. And she's like, no, really, I want your honest opinion. I was like, okay, you doubled down.
All right.
And so I tried it. Low key, not terrible for a first try.
Okay.
Really nice.
Not bad for a first try.
What did you tell her?
Slightly dry.
Oh.
You might want to get the dryness up. And the seasoning was nice, but it was still just a touch under. You know what I mean? You gotta get it up there a little bit. You know what I mean? Like a couple more levels, maybe a little bit more, you know? And she was like, oh, you know, I told her, I was like, did you use adobo? Which I know, we get it, it's canceled, we're using different ones now. But at the time, it wasn't canceled.
It wasn't canceled.
But I told her, I was like, oh, you gotta use some adobo, blah, blah, blah. She did not know what I was talking about.
Ooh.
Oh.
So I was just like,
she must have used different seasoning then.
Yeah, no, she did. Which, again, very good try for the first time.
Right.
And this really not being her culture, like, props.
You know it.
Right?
Yeah.
When you look at it like that.
And I told her, and also add just a few olives in there. Get, maybe even throw in a little bit of that olive juice just to give it that moisture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." And I really appreciate that. Like when somebody's like, "I want your honest opinion," and you give it to them, and they're like, yeah.
Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. That was Culture Nerds. The conversation continues next week. See you then.